What are some tips that you would have for someone who is looking to add in a lot more voice and personality? How do you coach people through that?
Sometimes I struggle with this whole conversation around voice because I feel like people think that it's something that they try on, but it's not something that you step into. It's something that grows on you. The notion of voice is essentially just how you sound. It's not any more complicated than that. When I coach people on voice, that's why I think it's important to read things out loud, because very often that's the step that even now, I've been writing since I was 8 years old, a long time. And even now, when I read things out loud, I sound like not me. That's the point where I was like, God, I could do better than that. Developing a voice is not a platform that you step onto. It's 1,000 little choices that you make all along the way that over time grow your voice and add up to something that's wholly unique. Find those small moments. Those small moments are the things that become a big differentiation for yourself. One of the things that I do a lot is a callback. I write the newsletter as a letter. I focus less on the news and more on the letter, so it's a one-to-one conversation with a reader. I'll usually start out with like a story, just like you would if you were writing a letter to a friend. Not an email, but a letter to a friend. It's like, hey, how's it going? This is what's going on in my world right now, and I'll usually tell a story. And then I usually will do a callback later in the sort of letter portion of it. So a callback is just referencing something that happened earlier, sometimes in a tongue-in-cheek or funny way. Thinking about vocabulary is important to me too. I sort of like using quirky words. I'm a quirky writer, and so I use quirky words to express that. That's why I have a department of shenanigans, for example. I could call it the department of the absurd, but shenanigans is a word that I love. It just like screams fun, something that's a little bit crazy. So thinking through word choice, I think, is another way that I layer in voice as well.